Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I am your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I am sitting today in the good room.
The other sitting room,
aka the good room, where I play FIFA and watch matches and do podcasts. It's kind of like my own personal private good room, really, if you think about it. But I'm joined today, as always, by the absolutely amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, phenomenally talented person, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan. You're shaking your head in disbelief. She's a bit thick with me as well, a small bit thick with me. Full disclosure, we should have done this podcast an hour ago, but I got a phone call an hour ago. A comedian rang me and I ended up talking to him for about an hour, and our two kids are currently inside in our sitting room watching television. We've kept them off the television all morning, and now we've got a half an hour to squeeze in a podcast here. Loads of people. We're going live on TikTok as well, and Noelle has warned me not to talk to TikTok while we're going live, so I can't. But I just want to say to everyone who's watching on TikTok, I love you, and please keep liking.
Yeah, keep the hearts coming.
How are you, Noelle?
How am I? I am very well today, I think. Today is Tuesday. It's pissing rain outside. We have a new leak. Yet I'm still trying to be a little bit positive. When I say we have a new leak in the house. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we live in a really old house. It's about 150, 160 years old, and there's constantly shit going wrong in the house. There's a hole in the ground, there's a hole in the roof, there's a hole in my fucking hole. There's holes all over the place, and we're just finding these holes. Every time we get a fucking hard shower of rain, something else is like, Argh! You know,
because I was thinking about it today. Because last week, so we got a second rain, a different leak, and I was like, because we currently have an issue with the roof, in one patch, and I'm involved with a builder for that. But
you're involved with a builder behind my back?
Yeah. So I'd originally got onto a plumber. It turned out it wasn't a plumbing issue because the previous.
This sounds like a really bad porno.
I know. Yeah. Hello, plumber.
Got onto my builder, and now my plumber. Come on in and fix my pipes.
So this is actually our fourth leak. Do you know that? We're in the house 5 years and it's our fourth leak. But I am thinking that it is the same as the roof issue. I think it's all connected. So at least that is the same problem.
Oh yeah, that's great. It's just coming in from our roof, guys.
Just moved, kind of. Maybe when it just moved to different, because it was there, but it's just moved now that the water's decided to come into our bedroom.
This would be a good time actually to shout out the Patreon.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got a Patreon. We do extra episodes every week. It's only €5 a month, less than the price of a pint, and it will go directly towards patching up our roof. So yeah, you can find the Patreon on, if you just Google Cornelius Conversations with Cornelius Patreon. It'll come up, but it'll also be in the link in the description on the actual podcast. You'll find it. Go there immediately, drop what you're doing, and sign up to the Patreon so that we can fix the leak in our roof. The leaks in our roof. But besides the leaks in our roof, our children inside on the television, and the endless monotony and struggle of just trying to fucking tread water. How are you getting on?
Oh, Jesus, way to bring down a crowd, Con.
I did it with energy.
But I think that's why I'm kind of good, but I am struggling to be good, but I am good.
Would you be struggling to be good now? Because would it, like, and this is not, and like, it's, you were locked on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's hard on a Tuesday to be good.
Yeah. I think I'm doing really well for the amount of alcohol I had on Sunday. I went, as you do, to a 5-year-old birthday party. And it was a good party.
Were all the 5-year-olds getting locked as well?
They were definitely high as kites jumping on the bounce castle. Okay. But no, it was a great party. It was great fun, great laugh. And I think because I was saying to you yesterday, it was great to have no fear, even though I had copious amounts of alcohol. I'd no
How much
fear
did you drink? I never actually asked you this. Did you drink 2 bottles of wine?
I'd say so, definitely.
Did
yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Definitely. So that could be 3. So
No, I'd say 2.
2, yeah. And wine, lads.
But
I
now
don't
it was
care.
over a long period of time. But
It was over 45 minutes.
I drink very fast, and I did have some sparkling water, but then that ran out.
Yeah.
So once
And you were in another person's house as well, so you couldn't take control of the drink as much. Do you know, if you were here and you were drinking wine, you like, I've seen you, like, you'd be like, I'm going to have some wine here now, and you'd fill half the glass with sparkling water.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But when you're in another person's house, you know, I'd be the same. I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, great, yeah.
No, but in fairness, now this house you could ask for anything, or she's very easy. So, but we just ran out of sparkling, and there was some there. And sure, if you're not a sparkling drinkers, then you're not going to have it necessarily in. So it was fine. But so yesterday I was really hungover, but I still managed to eat really well. Because I just like that had the food ready, so I think that probably saved. It's keeping my mental health just at bay because I'm still okay.
Lads, alcohol is the worst fucking thing you can do for your mental health. It is so bad for your mental health, and I'm not a mental health guru. And I'm off the back. So this podcast, we were in Paris last week.
Woohoo!
Okay, and we're going to talk about that now in a minute. But what I will say, Lady Gaga has just asked to join the live there. That's hardly the real Lady Gaga.
Jesus, sorry, Lady Gaga.
Sorry,
No.
lady. You can fuck yourself. We have no interest in speaking to singers here now. There's a husband and wife having a conversation here. But we were in Paris last week, right? And the common denominator on the trip, like we had our first alcoholic beverage at 6:58 a.m. in Cork Airport, and we didn't stop. I haven't stopped drinking until yesterday. Yesterday was the first day since we went on holidays that I stopped drinking. So I was drinking for like 7 days in a row. Now, when I say I was drinking, I was at the All-Ireland semi-final on Sunday. I had 1 pint.
Yeah.
I was gigging the night before that. I actually didn't have any drink on the Saturday. I take that back. But on the Friday, the Thursday, the Wednesday, I went for a few pints every night. And a few pints is 2 pints,
yes.
3 pints. But it's cumulative. It just sneaks up on top of you because I've been so good all winter and you've been so good all winter. It's in the summer and this country is so fucking annoying. We're in the middle of July and it's pissing out of the fucking heavens.
Yeah.
Pissing out of the heavens. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think just when we went away, I just loved the sesh that we were on and we weren't getting mouldy or anything.
No, like I suppose we can talk about. So we had the 2 drinks before we got on the flight.
2 drinks before I got on the
But
flight.
like I was up since 4:30.
I had 2 edibles and 2 drinks.
Because of course the night before the flight, I never said this to Alana, the night before we flew, so Connie got Alana to book the tickets for my birthday. So the Paris trip was for my birthday, but the day before, and I had actually seen not the actual tickets, but I'd seen part of it, but I went to check us in and I realised that
I forgot about this.
it was in my married name, and sure, my passport is still in my maiden name. So this was 9:30 the night before we flew in the morning. And I was like, oh, that's it down. Ryanair, we won't be able to fly. But as it turns out, we had to just be at the airport 2 hours before check-in.
And you were able to change it.
And I was able to change it. And had I my marriage cert with me, it would have been free. But of course I didn't have it with me, so now I have to try and get a refund. But supposedly it was €160 at the gate. 120 if you did it online, but I was too late for that. And I nearly didn't have you checked in, Con. I forgot with all the hassle of checking myself in and all the racket of the names. So by the time we got through to security, I was ready to
get locked.
No, just ready to chill. Because I'm not a nervous flyer.
You are like you I don't know.
What I mean is,
you're actually a very nervous person. I don't think.
I don't. When somebody says nervous flyer, they think about the actual plane.
Okay. Well, you're not nervous about that.
No,
you're
but
grand
I
about
am
the actual
nervous.
takeoff and the takedown.
I'm a nervous traveller.
You were a very nervous traveller, because even when we were doing the Google Maps through the streets of France, I'd have a look at the map and I'd put the phone in my pocket and you'd be like, where are we going now? And I said, we're just going up the road here. Take the phone out there just so you...
Well, no, because I explained that to you as well, because when I'm in control, if I went wrong, you go, are we wrong here, is it? Oh, right.
We'd often be wrong, though. And then I took... Look, who was the leader of this holiday?
you were better at the walk in Google Maps. But who got us to the destination and who got us home?
I got us home. I walked us back from the fucking...
No, I mean, actually, back from France, like.
Who got us from Killavullen up to Cork?
You just have to
Who got
drive.
us from Cork out to the airport?
Stop it.
Yeah. Look.
No, but we have discovered that you're better at the walking part of the Google Maps. And I am fucking delighted to hand it over. Because I hate...
Well, what I'm trying to say to you is, right, you might be delighted to hand it over, but you've got plenty... You're giving out to me for sighing, right? There's plenty of sighs and grunts out of you when I'm on my Google Maps. So... Put that
there's not.
There fucking is.
I'm always fine with, okay, all right, we have to turn around here.
No, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Because I had it out and I remember, we'll have to get, this is going to be later on now in the episode, right? But we were going from A to B and I'd have a look at it and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I know. And I'd scroll up to see how long we'd be walking on one path and I'd put the phone into my pocket. This happened on at least 25 million occasions.
Stop.
It happened at least 10 occasions. You'd be like, where are we going now? And I said, we're just going down to the end of the road there. All right, okay. Where's the phone? It's in my pocket. Yeah, okay. And how long more now? Just down to the end of the road here, Noel, and then we're going to should take it out there and have a look at it. So you were nervous and there was a lot of sighs and a lot of tutting. So don't be pretending that you're brilliant and that I'm not.
Well, I am.
You're not. You are, but you're not. But anyway, we went to Paris, guys, okay?
And we came back with our marriage intact.
And we had a fucking amazing time away from the children who we love that are inside the television there losing brain cells as we do this podcast to pay for that television so that they can lose their brain cells. But it was amazing. We went away for 3 days, 4 nights. Was it 4 nights?
3 nights.
3 nights. And 3 nights and 3 days, but they were 3 full days. We went to Paris, France. We flew in on a Sunday morning. We left here early in the morning. You were up at 4:00. We were on the road for 6:00. We checked in. My dad drove us up, and we were able to park the car there, so we saved the money on the parking. Flew in, landed over, and then we were like, kind of when we landed, all week long I'd been saying to you, fucking, are you looking forward to it? Or I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not really thinking about it. And then suddenly we were kind of just at the edge of the road. And Ryanair are gas, like, we'll fly you to Paris. But they pretty much flew us to Charleville. Like, they'd say, oh, would you like to fly to Cork? And they'd fly, yeah, no bother, I'll book that. And then they land you in Charleville. And you have to get from Charleville to Cork. That's not Cork, like, Ryanair. That Paris is not, what's the name of the place that they flew us to?
Bevu or something.
Bevu. And take our word for that, don't Google it. Bevu. They flew us to Bevu. And then we had to get a fucking... So we were thinking, we landed there now, like, straight up, okay, I was all paid for. I got it for Noel's birthday last Christmas. So the money was made and paid. So there was no pain of that kind of way. Or when it's all paid, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great when you save for something, pay for it, and then wait for it.
And you only need your spending money.
It felt like a free holiday, even though it was fucking bought and paid for months ago, right?
Yeah.
And so the first thing was, are we going to get... We landed. Are we going to get a bus and a tube and another bus and an underground? And we Googled how long it was going to take us 4 hours to get to...
We did this now before we went. We did it the day before, the night before.
We figured out it was going to be about 4 hours to get from where we were to there. But then I kind of said, how much would a taxi be?
It was going to be 2 hours. He's exaggerating.
And the taxi was going to take us from where we were, Charleville. We don't know Charleville, right? Into the fucking city centre of Paris, right? We don't know the city centre of Paris. And outside our door. It was going to drop us to our door. But it was expensive. It was 120 quid, wasn't it?
160. Was it 150 on the way over?
It was
120 on the way home.
Oh, 120 on the way back. Was it 160?
Maybe, I can't remember. 140 or 160.
And it would have cost about 45 to 50 if we had gone the other way. So it was basically an extra 100 to get dropped to the door. But that's only 50 each when you think about it.
Yeah.
And like, we're in our 40s.
That's what you kept saying. I'm in my 40s.
I'm in my mid to late 40s. I deserve to be dropped to the door. So anyway, we did that.
I'm not going backpacking.
Yeah. So we got there and we got right out. But where we were staying, right, I have to give you a description of this, right? So this was for Noel's 40th. Happy 40th birthday, babe, right? She turned
6 months.
She turned 40 last December, the 15th of December.
You're right.
And So Rod Stewart loves Rod Stewart. Got tickets. Myself and Noelle's niece, Alana, plotted behind her back. Got the old no. I plotted and Alana did all the work. So shout out to Alana. She booked all the tickets, booked all the things. Because I'm in my 40s, lads. I can't do anything. I don't. How is this working? Is this a microphone? Am I talking in the right way? So anyway, Alana booked the tickets, booked the accommodation, booked the flights. I gave her the money. She did all that kind of stuff. And when she was booking the accommodation, she goes, look, this is an apartment. This looks great. It's only like 2k from the city centre. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
This is absolutely perfect. Let's definitely do that. And we fucking said, I said, brilliant. But I didn't realise that where she was booking was like the ghetto of Paris. Like the ghetto of Paris. It was all nationalities were living there. It's basically the working poor, right? Which is like in any new city across the globe, you have the immigrants who are coming in who have to start at the bottom and work their way. Those people now are going to be the multimillionaires in 50 years' time. Do you know what I mean? My father came here from Senegal and started his own Caribbean bistro, and now look, we've got a string of them all across Paris. Like, that's the way it goes. But we didn't realise it was the ghetto until our taxi driver pulled in, right? And we were outside the door, and she'd brilliant English, and she said to Noelle, be careful here now.
Mind your money. Mind your money.
This is a very rough spot. And all of a sudden, the wind was taken out of our sails. Especially your sails.
Well, yeah.
So do you want to talk about getting dropped off there to going into the apartment? Because I think you really enjoyed the staircase.
Oh my God. So we landed and we landed at the apartment, and like, because it's an Airbnb, you know the way with hotels, you see the entrance and you know where you're going and you're dropped to the door. It was so different because we were literally in this really local street. People standing kind of outside doors.
It was like Shandon Street in Cork. If you're familiar with Cork, it was like Shandon Street. It is old. It is dilapidated. It is decrepit. It is vibrant and bustling.
Yes. Yeah, was that too. But you know, in an Airbnb, first off, you've got this like, how am I going to get in? How do we get in? The doors, the codes didn't have the right name. Somebody else buzzed it in. We were like, okay, well, they buzzed us in through, can't be, they're not overly secure. They let us go through. The Tick, Kerry and Cork accents, I suppose they said these ones are definitely from an Airbnb. And then we were 6 flights up. 6
flights in a fucking Charles Dickens-esque
windy. Do you know what it was like? It was like
staircase.
Yeah, like the area we were staying
in. We had to stop 2 or 3. Honestly, no. We had to stop every 3 or 4.
We counted down the floors, like.
You had to stop on the way up because you'd be out of breath. It was so steep and so many fucking steps.
And it was windy because it wasn't just the stairs up. It was like around and around.
But it wasn't a gorgeous staircase because it really didn't suit the building, because the building was like a concrete old building with bits of concrete actually crumbling at the sides.
Yeah.
It was really old. You could tell that these buildings, like, if they were fucking
ancient, like,
they were ancient, like. Yeah. But then it was like a fucking tree had grown inside here and someone had come in and sculpted this beautiful staircase within the thing, because
it was all worn, but it was like just perfect.
It was perfect
in a way. But anyway, so
horrendous.
Eventually we got up to the top and eventually we got in.
Yeah.
And then you've got that moment of relief that you're like, whew.
We made it. Our kids are at home.
We're here now.
We're here. So we do what we always do. We took off all our clothes. Not to have sex, lads. Just...
All right, go easy, would you?
Well, I'm just telling people might automatically assume we were having the ride. No, just to dry out.
Just to chill out.
Just to kind of dry out there. Jesus, we were on the go since fucking 3:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Like
you'd be sweating.
Okay. You're giving. For the people listening to the podcast, Connie's now, what would you call it? Waving?
Fanning my arse.
Fanning his hole.
And my ball sack.
Anyway, just that's a vision for you. But, so... That was the day we arrived, and we were going to Rod then that evening.
We were going to Rod that evening, but I wanted to get some medicine for myself, so we had to. Do you remember that? We had to. So they only had CBD cafes in Paris. You couldn't get THC cannabis, unfortunately. But that was grand. That was what I was going to get. So we located one of those dispensaries and we went down. So we had we stayed in the apartment for about maybe a half an hour, 40 minutes, and then we unpacked and we said, well, we need to get some provisions. We needed to get some water and get some food, and we were eager to get out and spot stuff as well. So we got out the old Google Maps. This is when Noel was doing the Google Maps. This is the early days of Paris now, lads. And we found the closest dispensary to us. Google Maps is amazing, really.
It is.
When you think about it, like, I was able to Google like a CBD dispensary, and there was one 20 minutes away. And that was our first experience of where we were actually living for the next few days. Now, that was coupled with the fact that the taxi driver had warned us that to be careful of our money because it was going to be, it was a dangerous area. And so straight away we went back down that fucking staircase, and back out into the street, and it was only about 12 o'clock in the day, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that. And it was, honestly, it was so busy, like, and there was all different nationalities, all different pigmentations of people walking up and down the street, women, children playing on the street, men smoking and drinking in corners. There was a construction site just up the corner from it. There was loud going all the time. Just really busy.
Hustle and bustle.
The two paddies then fucking waddling out of the fucking building.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we tried to pretend like we knew where we were going.
We were like, oh.
We no more knew where we, like, obviously we didn't know.
Yeah.
And then it was like pretending.
Oh.
As if anyone, as if anyone would think we knew what we were doing. There was no way. I was there with my bum bag.
Yeah.
And Connie, like, we just looked like two complete tourists. Like, there was no qualms about it.
I had my runners on and my baseball cap on. And my bum bag up on my back. I looked
Your backpack.
My backpack up on I looked like the quintessential duck out of water. People were looking at us. That's how clearly we were tourists. But anyway, we said, "Fuck this! We're going to power on as if we were trying to convince ourselves that we were safe." So we got out of there, and as we were walking to the dispensary, which was just 20 minutes away, it was about a kilometre, maybe a kilometre and a half away. But as we walked out of our ghetto existence, every maybe 50 to 100 yards, it started to become a little bit more quintessentially Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what the postcards are like. This is what okay. Oh, look, there's a boulangerie over there. And then by the time we got to the CBD, we were kind of like, oh, this is lovely. No, I have to say, we have a fondness for we ended up having a fierce fondness for where we were staying, but that's going to come out later on. We got to CBD. And when we got back to the apartment, and we bought some provisions, again, took off all the clothes.
Wrecked again.
More fanning, a little bit of tubing. You were opening your wine. And we were in full holiday mode. We were mad to go to Rod then. And, yeah.
So then we walked.
Oh, God. Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about the decision, like how we ended up going to Rod.
So we decided, at this stage we didn't really know anything about taxis in France or anything in Paris. So we decided to walk to the gig, and the gig was going to be an hour away walking, wasn't it? And
was it longer?
It was an hour and 20?
It was longer. It was a good bit out. We ended up getting, it was definitely longer. I'd say it was like...
No, I don't think it was, Con, because we were close enough. We knew before we left Ireland, it was that we were going to get a taxi. That we were going to walk it to the concert.
Was it? I thought it was longer than an hour because remember we got to go on anyway. Go on.
But so we were walking away, and then eventually we were like, well, we actually you just spotted a taxi, and we walked about 25 minutes, and then we got a taxi to the gig, and it brought us right outside the door, and we were just like 5 minutes late, but we were able to get our drinks and go to the bathroom and find our seats really fast. So
we must have left it very late to leave because I do remember us walking kind of at a fairly brisk pace, which was kind of annoying me. I was like, I've been just getting dry there all day. Now I'm getting moist again here. And then we did get a taxi, and we got spat out just outside the arena. But we must have left late because there was no crowds.
Yeah, and
go on, sorry.
We just made it was perfect timing in a sense.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because by the time we came on, got into the stadium, we could actually hear Rod on stage. I remember you turned to me and going, is he on stage? Because we thought the gig was starting at 8 o'clock, and we were there for 8 o'clock, but he had no support act.
So he came on.
He just came on straight away himself. And as you said, all the crowds, there was like fucking 20 odd thousand at the thing. They were all in there. They were all sitting down because they were all in their 70s and 80s. They're all law abiding.
We were the youngest at it.
We were like teenagers at it. Went for no problem getting a toilet break, no problem getting a beer, up into the auditorium then, and it was I'm not a Rod Stewart fan at all, actually, after going to see him. I like his music and he's a good singer. I like some of his music, but going into it, like, it was some show. It was some show. And
but he was getting pissed off at the show though, because his audience weren't interacting enough with him. And you're like, but sure, you're in your 70s, like your audience, or you're in your 80s, your audience members are in their 60s and 70s. What do you expect of them? But at one stage he was like, is this a funeral? Whatever the Scottish accent.
He was, so just to give you a review of the Rod Stewart gig, right? So we got great seats, right? Everybody that was around us had a fucking puss on their face.
Yeah.
Me and Noel were the only ones kind of fucking rocking it out.
Yeah.
Showing these lads what the team, like, they were probably looking at us and going, look at these teenagers here now.
Yeah, these young.
Would they ever get a job?
To be so young.
Would they ever get a job, the fucking wasters? But Rod came on. He played for 2 hours. At start, I thought his voice was, is his voice all right? But then his voice warmed up. Brilliant singer. He's got some bangers. Fair play to him. What I didn't like about Rod Stewart was he kept going, this is the smallest tour and this is the smallest venue of my tour. It's a tent. I haven't played a tent in 40 years. And he was trying to be funny, but it was a bit fucking condescending, I felt.
Yeah.
You know, a small bit. He's 79. I had to Google this afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of started... I've seen comedians do this from time to time as well. If they're not getting the reactions, they kind of blame the audience. They're like, oh, right, okay, that didn't land. Where'd you come from, a funeral? And Rod was at the same fucking carry on. But this is to fucking lads that, like, at least half the audience have had a hip replaced or a fucking knee replaced, you know? And at least half the audience won't be alive this time next year or within 5 or 10 years, you know? They were older audience, like, and he's like... And he's up there gyrating, trying to fucking, you know, pretend that he's fucking in his 40s, like us, spring chickens, and then giving out to the audience. Sure, they were all on, like, literally everyone's off their face at that gig on prescribed medication. Like, you know? And, I just didn't, I just thought it was bad. I thought it was bad form by him just to give it out. And then for the encore, he did one encore, but he didn't describe exactly what.
So he had up at the back then, more applause please, up behind the stage, like they had like this name of the songs would come up, but then so he obviously had an encore planned, and then he came out and he did one song, and then like people were clapping, but they weren't clapping enough, I'd say, to get another song, and he just went fuck this, walked off stage,
leaving all fucking
the rest of the dancers and everything
out there, and that was the thing as well. Like, we were talking about this afterwards. We felt that he was really trying to be young Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, you can't be young Rod Stewart at 79, Rod. You've got to fucking realise that you're nearly 80, bro. You know? It's okay. You don't have to have the raw sexual magnetism that you've had all your life. You have your kids now. You don't have to be gyrating in fucking leather pants. And it was like watching Joe Biden have a wank. It was so... But you said it yourself, it didn't look good.
He looked like a fella, you know, if you saw him dancing in the pub, like on a Sunday, and you'd be like, is he right in the head?
Is that fella all right?
But we enjoyed it.
No, we're being critical, right? But we had a great laugh. Do you want to tell him about the time I got lost?
Oh my God, he was like, where's Wally? So we were up anyway in the crowd. Our seats were quite at the back, but Connie went, but it was very easy to go down and get drink. You literally went down and down one flight of stairs. You know, you didn't have very far to travel. But Connie went and got drink and then came.
No, you just flirted over that very quickly now, right? So we were above in the seats. We were sandwiched in, okay? She horsed down her drink. I still had plenty of mine left. And she was like, are you going to the bar? And I was like, what's wrong with your own 2 fucking feet? And then she pulled the birthday card. She was 6 months ago, you know?
Still.
So I had to then trudge down through these OAPs to get us a couple of drinks. Now, I had been involved in, my own medicinal meanderings throughout the day, and I was, I suppose, 4 sheets to the wind, in a foreign country, half cut, stoned. I didn't have the Google Maps on. Finish
so
it.
I'd say, so just to describe, there was actually he just had to pass 4 people were sitting beside us, and then he was on the steps down. So he went down the down and then down a flight of steps, and there the bar was. It wasn't like he had to meander too far away. But what happened was he got the drinks, and once he was at the bar counter, he could have gone right or he could have gone left. And if you had this awareness to go back the way you came from, then you would have gone right. But he didn't. He went left.
Oh, are you great with awareness, are you?
So then he popped up, like over there for me, over to the left. And I was like, oh, I could see him with the 2 drinks. It was like a Homer Simpson moment looking around. And I was like, oh my God, he's down there. And I was trying to wave. And then there was a few people. There was a man sitting beside me who didn't smile for the whole concert. The only time he started laughing was when he saw me waving down at Connie, and Connie not having a clue. Just looking from side to side, side to side.
But then Rod came up with a fucking banging tune, and I was like, I can't find her, but I know she's going to see me. So I just kind of started. But then there was loads of French people going, sit down, boom, get out of the way. Because I went up a couple of aisles looking for you, And there was one fucking scowly old cataracty woman looking at me, and she was like, move out the way.
Yeah.
Move out the way. And I was like, he's on these big screens all over the gaff as well. Like, I mean, I'm literally in her way for fucking 5 seconds. Like, and I was genuinely looking for my wife, like, move out the way. And I was just like, I just said, come here, love, you're grand. And now I know she would have known that passive aggressive Irish way of saying something. You're grand, like, but I still got my thrills of it. But anyway, I went back down into a kind of an area where I knew you could see me, and just started dancing and waiting for Noel to find me.
And I was looking down, I was like, oh my God, fucking Egypt. And your man was laughing beside me. I said, there. And he was like, is that your husband? I said, it is my Egypt down there. So I was like a mother going down to collect the lost child, like, down a bit. And like there were some people on the row had seen you, because you weren't that far, so I was waving. Like if you just had looked in the direction, you kept looking over further.
I reckon if I'd gone up to Rod there and said, look, give me 10 minutes there, Rod, I'll get this fucking crowd going for you. And I'd just do the Last Man in France vibe.
Yeah. So but then I found you, and then after the concert we had a little moment of, are we going left?
This is where the Google Maps, this is where the holiday took a turn.
Could have gone the marriage could have gone either way.
It could have gone either way. We again, great. Now we enjoyed the concert for all its flaws. Just want to say one more thing about the concert that really annoyed me about Rod Stewart. Right, so Rod Stewart is a Scottish singer, 79 years young, brilliant catalogue of songs, huge Celtic football fan, Celtic fan, and Celtic are massive behind the Palestinian struggle at the moment. I mean, they're fucking huge behind it. And there's like, you go to any of the matches, see any of the matches, Palestinian flags draped all across the stadium. They're like really, advocates for the plight of the Palestinians. So Rod had 5 costume changes. 5 fucking costume changes. Lads, what the fuck? Like, what was he at? Like, he must have had people taking the clothes off him, because I don't think he could fucking touch his own knees,
He probably did.
He probably did. So one of the costume changes, the penultimate one, the second last one, he came out in a blue pants. He had a yellow shirt with big lapels and a yellow cravat, and a matching jacket. The Ukrainian colours.
Yes.
And then in the back screen, he had a Ukrainian flag flying, and then he came out and he did this big speech for the Ukrainians, which I thought was great, and about their plight and what's going on there and all that kind of stuff. And he didn't mention Palestine at all, and it really fucking grated. I was like, because if you mention Palestine now, it's just going to, it literally can affect you, like, you can affect your ticket sales.
Yes, yeah.
Because for whatever reasons, which we won't get into, it affects your popularity. You can get cancelled. You're in danger. You're in danger of being chopped down. And the bollocks he's got so much money in his bank, he never has to worry ever again. He's 79. I can't see him going on another tour. And he didn't mention him.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. I did shout out Free Palestine at the end of it, at the end of the song. Fell on deaf ears. But I still felt good about it, But anyway, that was just one thing that I wanted to say, because I was that, and he's kind of ignorance towards the audience because they weren't fucking throwing their knickers and bras at him really annoyed me, and the fact that he was gyrating on stage. If he had got an orchestra and sat down and sang his classics, and then he could still have one or two fast numbers within it. It would have been such a better look and it would have been more comfortable for him as well,
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Rod, it's a 2 out of 10 for me.
But anyway, let's get back to the aftermath.
You take it away here now, because I'm doing a lot of talking here in this podcast.
I think I am too. So then we're struggling to the Google Maps walking wasn't really working out for us. I wanted to go one way, and Connie wanted to go another, and then we agreed to go one way. And
which way did we agree to go?
My way.
Okay, all right. So let's just go back here now again. So we were outside. I suggested we go left. You suggested we go right, and then we both agreed that we'd go your way.
Yeah.
Okay, off you go.
And then that turned out to be wrong, so we turned around, and then you took over. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah. And then there was a bit of humming and hawing and a bit of sighing because you were wrong. And you didn't want to be told you were wrong. And I didn't tell you were wrong. But even if I kind of hinted at it, it was scalded and there was a little bit of an attitude. I didn't appreciate it. But anyway, we were on the right track. And then I had what can only be described as...
I'll give it to you.
What would you describe it as?
I think it was probably one of the best decisions of the trip.
Yeah. I said to Noelle, if we see a hotel, we'll go into the hotel, we'll order a drink, and then I'll go to the reception when we've the drink ordered, and I'll say, can you book us a taxi, please, to take us to the ghetto? Right? So Noelle was like, yeah, that sounds good. And there was a few hotels in the horizon. Well, we were walking back as well. I have to say now, it was Paris. It was 11 o'clock at night. It was dark. And we're walking on the streets.
And we were walking the direction of where we were staying.
The ghetto.
Which meant we knew where we were coming from, and so knew that it was going to get rough as well.
And we were also the echo of the taxi driver from earlier in the day going, Manja money, it is very rough in here.
Yeah.
And that might have been a little bit of embellishment there. But anyway, so we were walking back, and then we had that idea, and next thing anyway, we saw a little hotel, and we ran in, and I went up to the front desk and I said, hello, how are you doing? We're just having a drink inside here. Can you order the taxi? And he was like, no problem. And we were like, oh my God. So then we went in, and it was a restaurant. Yeah. The restaurant was the best part of the night. It was the best part of the night. Please talk about it. It was lovely. One of the best parts of the night. It was a great night now.
Yeah. But it was the relief when we sat down, and he was like, oh, we have an app. We'll just ring the taxi whenever you want. No problem. I said, will there be issue getting, will there be problems? No. They always come.
Because we're thinking from Ireland, where like if you try and get a taxi in Ireland now, you could be waiting 3 years before they turn up.
Outside, like we were only about 15 minutes walk at this stage from where the gig was on. So you still would be thinking you've got crowds of people coming, and there was loads of people came into the restaurant.
There was a guts of an hour to go of walking through the ghetto.
Yeah, but
in dark.
We were sure that
a
load of taxis.
I have a bit of Shotokan. I did a bit of karate when I was 15, so I've got a green belt. So, you were safe enough. You'd have probably been all right.
But so the relief, and then we got a little drink, and actually we just had a Coke there, I think. And
we got some food.
We got beautiful burgers.
Lads, the French know how to cook. They, I will say this now. So we're going to just describe this night, okay? And we're nearly finished. And then we're going to stop this particular podcast. And then we're going to pick up part 2 on our Patreon, okay? But if you're interested in food, if you're interested in restaurants, if you're interested in art like the Louvre and, you know, like doing Parisian things whilst living in a ghetto, tune into the Patreon, right? It's only €5 a month and it's the price of a pint and it'll fix a few holes in our house, right? But this was our first experience really eating in a restaurant. We had got a few bits earlier on at the airport and stuff like that. We bought a few bits in the shop.
When we landed, yeah, we were waiting for the transfer.
But
yeah.
it's still kind of
Just
hotel.
small, yeah.
It's kind of hotel-y, airporty type stuff. And we bought a few provisions ourselves, but we hadn't really eaten out. I'm salivating. The burger that they made, like, it isn't a bloody patty that they made. It is like, the food was just, I can't describe it. Like, it was, the cheese was melted on. Every single bite was like a party in my mouth. It was like a New Year's Eve explosion of joy. Every part of it. What did you eat?
I had a burger as well.
What kind of a burger did you have?
I had the
The black bun.
The black, it was charcoal burger or something,
Yeah.
but it was delicious. But there was the burger itself was like you were having kind of a steak sandwich is more so than a burger, mince burger. Like it was but it was delicious.
Yeah.
And it was just an accumulation of the relief and just sitting and enjoying the food. And then we got a taxi afterwards, no bothers.
No
Sitting.
problem at all. Taxi out to the front door, and then we got dropped off, and then as we got dropped off, about 50 or 60 men came out of this building right next to our building, and Noel, I could feel the fear in Noel as they came out. But I knew that there was a mosque. Right?
I didn't.
There was a mosque right next to our building, and I knew it was a mosque, and it was just people coming out of a mosque. Like, they literally had been on their hands and knees praying to Allah. Like, and Noel thought they were going to steal every cent that we had.
Going to be thrown into the back of a taxi.
Yeah, kidnapped.
car.
40-year-old kidnapped. The first 40-year-old kidnapped ever. Like, what would they? Well, like, they could have the house, worth the whole fucking pile anyway with the holes.
No.
But so you did have a little bit of fear there, but then I was saying it was a mosque, but it didn't dissipate until we got upstairs. But we got upstairs, then we went up through that spiral staircase again, and off with the clothes again. And I think did we have a beer? Did you have a glass of wine? I think we just chilled and looked out at the parade. I have to say now, and we're going to finish up this particular podcast now in a second, right? The first day was a whirlwind of experiences and emotions and excitement, and it's very hard to get excitement in your life now because our life is quite monotonous in terms of we get up, we mind our kids, we make our kids food, we get dressed, we go here, we take them to matches, we do this, we do that, I go to work, I come home from work, rinse, repeat. You know, and like it's not boring.
Even though I
it's
don't
not
think
boring.
our life is monotonous at all.
No, what I mean by monotonous now is I don't mean as in monotonously boring, but it's like it's fairly routine. Like everyone's life is fairly routine. You know, do you know what I mean? Monotonous is the wrong word actually. I take back monotony. But it's fairly routine. Whereas there was a lot of fucking like what the fuck? Where are we here now? Like
new experience,
excitement, and it kind of I felt electrified from it. And the next 2 days were just fucking amazing. If you want to listen to those 2 days, guys, sign up to the Patreon.
Don't forget now the podcast festival.
And this is the thing also. I am in the Cork Opera House on September the 3rd. It's this is the 4th or the 3rd or the 4th? 4th. I'm doing this podcast live as a part of the Cork Podcast Festival. Chris Kent, the absolutely amazing Cork comedian, is joining me, and I have two special guests, one of whom I can't say for certain, but she's very beautiful. She's a regular contributor on this guest, and she was with me in Paris. And the other one is a complete surprise, and we're not going to be announcing that until the podcast, unless we announce it in the meantime, which I don't think we will. Tickets are on sale on my website, corneliuspatrickosullivan.com, but you can get them at the Cork Opera House as well, corkoperahouse.com, I think, and I'd love to see you there. Tickets are finally starting to move. There's a few of them starting to shake. It's the middle of the summer. I know people are busy, but this is going to be great crack, and we'd love to see you. So yeah, so come buy tickets to that, and also sign up to the Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, we love you, and thanks for tuning in. And the kids never came in.
No, they didn't.
Amazing.
But we've the stairgate up too.
We've the stairgate. 43 minutes.
Good luck.
Good
and thanks. Bye bye.
Staying by the wall.